After you hit 40, your body starts playing a trick on you. Every single year, you silently lose a little bit of the muscle that keeps you strong, fast, and independent. It's so slow you barely notice it, until one day you realize you're getting winded going up the stairs or struggling with the groceries. This isn't just about getting older or losing your beach body. It's a biological decline that drains your energy and puts your future freedom at risk. Most people think being frail is just a natural part of aging, but I'm here to tell you that's a myth. I've spent years researching how to flip the switch from breaking down to building up, even as the years add up. Today, I'm walking you through a simple, high-performance protocol to stop that muscle loss in its tracks and build a body that stays powerful when into your 80s and 90s. We're going to talk about how to eat, train, and recover to ensure you never lose your physical edge.
Before we dive into the science, I want to know who is with me on this journey. Drop a comment below and tell me where in the world you're watching from. I love seeing how far this community reaches. And if you're ready to take control of your health and build a body that lasts a lifetime, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're building a blueprint for longevity here, and you don't want to miss a single step. To truly understand why your body feels different after 40, we have to look at a silent crisis known as sarcopenia. Think of your muscles as the primary battery for your physical health. As you age, that battery naturally starts to leak power. This isn't just about losing the tone in your arms or legs. It is a systemic decline where your muscle fibers literally begin to shrink and vanish. I've looked at the data, and the reality is that muscle is your greatest insurance policy against aging.
When you lose it, you aren't just getting softer, you are losing the very engine that regulates your blood sugar, supports your joints, and keeps your metabolism firing at a high level. For most of us, this crisis feels invisible because the number on the scale might not even change. You might stay the same weight, but underneath the surface, your healthy muscle is being replaced by fat, a process often called internal aging. This shift is dangerous because muscle acts as a massive sponge for glucose. Without it, your risk for metabolic issues skyrockets, and your bones lose the structural support they need to stay dense and strong. In the longevity community, we view sarcopenia as one of the primary drivers of frailty. If you don't actively fight to keep your muscle now, you are essentially letting your physical independence slip away a little more every single year. From a high-performance perspective, managing sarcopenia is about shifting from a maintenance mindset to a defense mindset. You can no longer afford to just be active. You have to send a loud, clear chemical signal to your body that this muscle is required for your survival. If you ignore this crisis, the long-term cost is your quality of life. It's the difference between being a vibrant, mobile 80-year-old and someone who is sidelined by the fear of a fall. By treating your muscle as a vital organ, you can start using the right protocols to protect it, ensuring your biological battery stays fully charged for decades to come. One of the biggest frustrations I faced as I got older was realizing that the same workouts and meals that used to work in my 20s just weren't cutting it anymore. This happens because of a hurdle called anabolic resistance. Essentially, as we age, our muscles become hard of hearing. They stop responding to the normal signals that tell them to grow and repair after a workout or a meal. It's like trying to start a fire with damp wood. The spark is there, but the flame just won't catch. If you don't learn how to overcome this resistance, you can spend hours in the gym and eat all the right things without ever seeing the physical results you're working so hard for. To beat this, I had to stop exercising and start signaling. When you have anabolic resistance, your body needs a much louder message to trigger muscle growth. This means you can't just go through the motions with light weights. You have to create enough mechanical tension and metabolic stress to force those stubborn muscle fibers to pay attention. I focus on lifting with intent and pushing close to my limits because that intensity is what wakes up the cellular machinery. By turning up the volume of the workout, you override the resistance and prove to your body that keeping this muscle is a matter of survival, not just an option. The second half of this battle happens in the kitchen. Because an aging body is less efficient at processing protein, the old standard servings aren't enough to trigger a growth response anymore. I learned that I have to hit a specific anabolic threshold with every single meal to get the job done. This isn't about eating more food overall, it's about being strategic with your protein timing and quality to ensure your muscles actually receive the message to rebuild. When you combine high-intensity signaling with the right nutritional punch, you break through that wall of resistance and start building a body that stays strong and resilient for the long haul. Once I understood that my body was becoming resistant to growth signals, I realized I had to change the way I looked at my plate.
This led me to the 30-gram protein threshold. When we're younger, our bodies are so anabolic that even a small snack can trigger muscle repair. But after 40, you need a much larger dose of protein in a single sitting just to flip the switch for muscle protein synthesis. Think of it like a light switch that requires a certain amount of pressure to turn on. If you only apply 15 or 20 grams of pressure, the light stays off, and your body stays in a state of breakdown. By hitting at least 30 to 40 grams of high-quality protein in one meal, you finally provide enough force to turn that light on and start the rebuilding process. I stopped grazing on small amounts of protein throughout the day because I realized it was actually counterproductive. If you eat 10 grams here and 15 grams there, you never hit that critical threshold, meaning your muscles never get the signal to grow, even though you're consuming calories. I now treat every meal as a strategic opportunity to hit that 30-gram minimum. This shift was a game changer for my energy and recovery. By focusing on protein-centric meals, I'm ensuring that my body isn't just digesting food, but is actually using those amino acids to repair the wear and tear from my workouts and protect my physical foundation. The quality of that protein is just as important as the amount. To make this threshold work, I prioritize complete proteins that are rich in leucine, which is the specific amino acid that acts as the primary trigger for growth. Whether it's lean steak, wild-caught fish, or a high-quality whey isolate, the goal is to get those essential building blocks into the bloodstream all at once. When you hit that 30-gram mark with the right nutrients, you aren't just eating, you're biohacking your metabolism to stay in a building phase. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful habits you can adopt to ensure your muscles stay dense, strong, and functional for decades to come. If protein is the fuel for your muscle-building engine, then leucine is the key that actually turns the ignition. I realized that I could eat a massive amount of protein, but if I didn't have enough of this specific amino acid, my body would just sit in neutral. Think of leucine as a master switch for your cells. In a younger body, this switch is incredibly sensitive, but as we age, it gets stuck. To unstick it, you need to reach what we call the leucine threshold, a specific concentration in your blood that signals to your brain that it's finally time to stop breaking down muscle and start building it back up. For most people over 40, that trigger point is usually around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal. I stopped just looking at total protein grams and started looking at the quality of those grams.
If I'm eating a plant-based meal or a lower-quality protein source, I might be getting the calories, but I'm missing the leucine punch needed to activate my growth pathways. This is why I prioritize leucine-rich sources like eggs, dairy, or high-quality meats. By making sure I hit that specific leucine mark, I'm essentially forcing my body to listen to the muscle-building signal that it would otherwise ignore. Integrating this into my daily life was a massive turning point for my physical performance. I now look at leucine as a precision tool for longevity. If I'm having a lighter meal, I might supplement with a high-quality whey isolate or a targeted amino acid blend just to ensure that growth switch stays flipped. It's a small technical detail, but it's the difference between seeing your hard work pay off or just spinning your wheels. By prioritizing leucine, you ensure that every bite you eat is working for your future self, keeping you strong, resilient, and capable of taking on whatever life throws at you. I used to think that staying active, like going for long walks or light jogs, was enough to keep me healthy as the years went by, but I had to face a hard truth. While cardio is great for your heart, it does almost nothing to stop your muscles from wasting away. To truly protect my physical future, I realized that resistance training is the only non-negotiable. Think of lifting weights as a use-it-or-lose-it contract with your body. If you don't give your muscles a reason to stick around by challenging them with tension, your body will literally harvest that tissue for energy. I stopped looking at the gym as a place to burn calories and started seeing it as the place where I fight for my independence. The magic happens through something called progressive overload. For the signal to be loud enough to overcome that anabolic resistance we talked about, you have to consistently push your muscles a little further than they are comfortable going. I don't just lift the same light weights every week. I make sure that over time I'm adding a bit more weight, doing an extra rep, or slowing down my movements to increase the challenge. This constant stress tells my nervous system and my muscle fibers that they need to stay dense and strong to handle the load. It's about proving to your biology that you are still a high-performance machine that requires power, not just a passenger on the aging train. What's even more incredible is how this type of training protects more than just your muscles. It's armor for your entire skeletal system. When I lift heavy, the tension on my muscles actually pulls on my bones, signaling them to become denser and more resilient.
This is the ultimate biohack for longevity because it creates a body that can withstand a fall or a stumble without breaking. By prioritizing resistance training at least 3 times a week, I'm not just building a physique, I'm building a fortress. I'm ensuring that at 80 or 90, I'm the one moving with confidence and strength while everyone else is slowing down. One of the biggest mistakes I made early on was focusing only on the lifting part of the exercise and rushing through the way back down. I eventually learned that the secret to high-performance muscle growth isn't just in the push, it's in the eccentric loading, or the lowering phase of the movement. Think of it like this. Your muscles are actually much stronger when they are lengthening under tension than when they are shortening. When you slowly lower a weight, let's say for a count of 3 or 4 seconds, you are creating micro tears in the muscle fibers that act as a massive growth alarm for your body.
I stopped letting gravity do the work and started owning the entire rep, which completely changed how my body responded to training. For those of us over 40, this technique is a game changer because it provides more bang for your buck without needing to use dangerously heavy weights that might stress your joints. Scientific research suggests that the eccentric phase is responsible for a huge portion of the strength and size gains we see in the gym. By slowing down the lowering phase, you're increasing the time under tension, which sends a loud, clear signal to your brain to repair and reinforce those tissues. I now view the way I lower the weight as the most productive part of my workout. It's the part that actually forces my aging muscle fibers to adapt and stay resilient. Beyond just building muscle, this slow and controlled approach is like armor plating your tendons and ligaments. As we get older, our connective tissues can become more brittle, making us more prone to injury.
By practicing eccentric loading, I'm not just making my muscles bigger, I'm making my entire structural system more durable and elastic. This is the ultimate longevity hack because it builds the kind of functional strength that protects you in the real world, like when you're slowly lowering a heavy box or steadying yourself during a stumble. It's about building a body that is as tough as it is strong, ensuring you stay active and injury-free for decades to come. I quickly learned that even the best workout and diet in the world won't work if your internal environment is fighting against you. This is why optimizing hormonal health is the foundation of my muscle preservation strategy. Think of your hormones as the project managers of your body. They decide whether your cells should be building new muscle or burning it for fuel. As we age, managers like testosterone and growth hormone naturally start to scale back their operations.
I stopped looking at this decline as an inevitable shutdown and started seeing it as a system that simply needs better data. By managing my stress, sleep, and nutrition, I'm giving my hormones the raw materials they need to keep my body in a building state rather than a breaking down state. To keep these signals strong, I focus heavily on the basics that most people overlook: vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc. These aren't just random supplements, they are the literal building blocks for your natural hormone production. For example, if I'm low on vitamin D, my body struggles to maintain the testosterone levels needed to repair the muscle damage from my workouts. I track these levels religiously because I want to ensure my internal chemistry lab is fully stocked. It's not about using synthetic shortcuts, it's about biohacking your lifestyle so your body naturally wants to stay strong, lean, and energetic, regardless of the number on your birth certificate. The final piece of the hormone puzzle is managing cortisol, the stress hormone.
I realized that if I'm constantly stressed out or sleep deprived, my cortisol levels stay high, which acts like a demolition crew for my muscle tissue. High stress literally eats away at the gains I work so hard for in the gym. I've made quality sleep and stress management non-negotiable parts of my protocol because that's when the real hormonal magic happens. When you lower your stress and optimize your nutrients, you create a perfect anabolic environment. This is the secret to staying physically vibrant and cognitively sharp well into your 90s. You aren't just fighting aging, you're outsmarting it from the inside out. To truly protect your future, you have to address a silent threat that often goes unnoticed: chronic inflammation, or what experts call inflammaging. Imagine your body has a built-in fire department meant to put out temporary fires, like a muscle strain or a cold. But as we get older, that fire department never goes home. Instead, a low-grade smoldering fire stays active throughout your entire system. This constant state of alert is devastating for your muscles because it creates a toxic environment where your body is so busy fighting invisible fires that it stops investing in repair and growth. If you don't cool this internal heat, all your hard work in the gym is essentially being burned away before it can turn into lasting strength. The reason this matters so much for muscle preservation is that chronic inflammation actively interferes with the building signals we've been talking about. When your inflammation levels are high, your body produces specific chemicals that act like a demolition crew, breaking down muscle proteins faster than you can replace them. I started looking at my diet and lifestyle through this lens, realizing that things like processed sugars, seed oils, and constant stress were adding fuel to that internal fire every single day. By shifting to an anti-inflammatory way of living, prioritizing high-quality omega-3s, colorful antioxidants, and gut health, I was able to shut down the demolition crew and finally give my muscles the peace and quiet they needed to actually grow and recover. In the world of biohacking, we know that you can't build a masterpiece in a room that's on fire. Managing inflammation is about clearing the path so your hormones and protein can actually do their jobs. I now treat my recovery as seriously as my training, using tools like cold exposure, proper hydration, and anti-inflammatory nutrients to keep my systemic temperature low.
When you master your inflammatory response, you aren't just protecting your muscles, you're protecting your brain, your heart, and your joints from the wear and tear of time. It is the ultimate secret to staying physically sharp and resilient, ensuring your body feels as young on the inside as you're training it to look on the outside. Building a body that lasts isn't about chasing perfection or trying to look like a professional athlete. It's about maintaining the physical freedom to live life on your own terms. I stopped looking at my health in 30-day increments and started thinking about the 100-year body. Every time I hit my protein threshold or choose resistance training over a sedentary afternoon, I'm making a deposit into a long-term account. This protocol is designed to ensure that when you reach your 80s and 90s, you still have the strength to travel, play with your grandkids, and move through the world with confidence.
Muscle is the foundation of that independence, and it is never too late to start protecting it. The strategies we've discussed today, overcoming anabolic resistance, prioritizing leucine, and managing inflammation, are practical tools you can start using right now. You don't need a complicated lab setup or a professional coach to make progress. You just need the consistency to send the right signals to your body every day. I've found that the most successful people in this community are the ones who take one small piece of this protocol and master it before moving to the next. By treating your physical health as a lifelong project, you move away from the fear of aging and toward a future where you remain the capable, vibrant person you are today. I'm curious to hear which part of this protocol you're going to implement first. Is it the 30-gram protein rule, or finally getting back under the bar for some resistance training? Leave a comment below and let me know your plan. If you found this breakdown helpful and you're ready to take a science-backed approach to your longevity, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are constantly exploring new ways to optimize our biology, and I want to make sure you have every tool you need to stay strong for the long haul. Let's build a body that lasts together.